After years or maybe decades of doing, you finally decide to have a break, to rest and do nothing. You get your tea, you sit down, but in less than 5 minutes, the voice in your head says, "You're wasting time." You suddenly start feeling guilty, like you are doing something that you are not supposed to do. That guilt doesn't come from nowhere, it comes from fear. Fear of falling behind, fear of things falling apart if you stop. I know that fear very well. I actually took a break from making these YouTube videos, a 2 month break in January. And I thought it was for rest and for clarity. But I kind of failed, especially at the beginning, because I couldn't just be. My mind kept reminding me of all the things that I was supposed to do. Even an email that I received a century ago and it wasn't even necessary to reply. So even in an intentional break like that, I felt the guilt of not producing. We feel that guilt and shame because we are conditioned to measure ourselves based on our output. Like we are robots and we are only good if we are running at 100% efficiency. But a robot doesn't have a soul. A robot is not built to pause, to rest, to feel, to reflect. And when we look at ourselves like robots, then of course, as soon as we don't produce, we are not doing anything, then we feel useless. And a useless robot is worth nothing. But if you look at that guilt, you see that it's not yours. It's something that you picked up along the way from a parent, a teacher, the society. And it's telling you that if you are not doing, if you are not producing something, then you are not worthy of anything good that can come to your life. But like many other beliefs that we have, is that really true? When you, in a quiet afternoon, when you sit down and you stare at the clouds and you feel connected to yourself or to something much bigger than you, then isn't that much more valuable than answering 10 emails or, I don't know, crossing off your to-do list? For me, it's much more valuable. But I get it if staring at the clouds doesn't pay the rent, but that's not the point. Because even when we are not at work and nobody is watching, because we have tied our value to what we do, we still feel guilty when we are not doing. We still feel that shame when we are not producing something. Sometimes I think about babies or even cats. They don't produce anything. They don't make money. They don't pay the rent. But nobody has any doubts that they are worthy. They are worthy of the love and care. They may not be able to give it to them, but I don't believe anybody has any doubts that they are worthy of that love and care. And maybe we are not that different. Maybe we didn't lose our worth along the way. We just can't feel it right now because of all the things that happened to us. Every time that something painful happened, maybe we thought there must be something very wrong with me, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. But now we are adults, and as adults, we need to learn the difference between functional value and fundamental worth. What we do has a functional value. Your role in your job has a functional value. It's a trade. You give your time and a skill, and they give you a paycheck. That's the reality of living on earth, at least for now. But your worth is different. It's something that you were born with it. And no matter what happened to you And no matter what situation you are living in right now, you are still as worthy as the time that you were born. So we have to stop tying our worth to what we do, to our jobs, and start feeling that worth inside. Now, to change that, we might start having periods of doing nothing. And at the beginning, we might hear these protests in our head, but I should be doing something. But if you let yourself having those periods of doing nothing without any judgment, without thinking that you are being unproductive or useless, then you teach your nervous system that it is safe to sit down and do nothing. It is safe to rest. And nothing is going to go wrong if you just have a pause. When you stay with that fear instead of reacting to it, then that fear starts to dissipate, and you're going to feel the guilt that was the result of that fear less and less, and you anchor yourself more in your worth. From there, things start to flow more easily, things get done more easily, and life becomes lighter. Now, you still do what needs to be done, but you don't do it from that desperate place of proving your worth. You do it because it's aligned with you. You do it because you want to do it. And when you are doing it, you know in your heart that it's not going to add to your worth. And if you don't do it, it's not going to reduce your worth in any form or any shape. So you are still worthy even if you don't do it. I'm still worthy if I don't make these videos anymore. Until next time.